Former Sassa boss Edward Makiwane, as well as other government officials, have appeared in court on fraud charges. They allegedly defrauded government of about 700 million rand. Katlego Mogale from the Hawks joins me now from our Pretoria studios. Colonel, thank you a lot for joining us this morning. Let's talk a little bit about some of these charges that have been leveled against these officials. I mean, it's absolutely disappointing, and it just 700 million. That's 700 million of money that could have gotten to the right hands for the right reasons in this country.
Good morning, Faith. Yes, definitely. These three former government officials, as well as the trifecta group of companies, are being investigated. They appeared in court yesterday at Kimberley Regional Court on charges of fraud and the contravention of the Public Finance Management Act.
Let's talk a little bit about exactly what did they do, because I think that we speak a lot about, on a top level that it's, fraud charges, etc. But what did these individuals do? And actually, I'm going to name and shame them because it's actually disappointing. It's at this day and age when you're going to be stealing from people, you deserve to be shamed. So what did these people do?
Allegedly, these three individuals, the trifecta group of companies, approached them, and they managed to secure several contracts with regards to the leasing of government buildings. And during that leasing, bribes were exchanged, and allegedly they ensured that the rentals were paid without proper invoicing, as well as overlooking the fact that these government buildings had defects which needed to be fixed before the invoices or the rentals were paid.
And then my big question then is, this happened in 2006. How long did it take before you were able to put a wrap around this case?
As you know, we always depend on the fact that somebody would complain. As soon as we receive that complaint, we trace it back. Through investigation, you trace it back, and we managed to trace it back to 2006.
The value of these contracts, Colonel, is about 700 million rand. My question then is, what happens to the 700 million rand that is possibly owed? They receive bribes just to keep this contract going. So this 700 million rand, will you ever be trying to recoup it, or is it gone forever? What happens to it?
Through investigation, and as well as you know that this is an ongoing case, as soon as it is finalized, then our other partners, such as the asset forfeiture unit, will be able to either recoup that 700 million and make sure that that money goes back to the government.
And then exactly what are they facing at this moment in time? They appeared in court, but up to how many years can they actually get for this?
They will be again appearing in February 2020, still on charges of fraud and the contravention of the Public Finance Management Act.
Okay, but then if they are found guilty, what happens then? How many years are we looking at here?
At this stage, it is unclear that we would speculate as to how the sentencing will turn out.
All right. I think I just wanted, as I said, it's one thing that, Colonel, we can speak about them on a top level, but I just want to give viewers just the name of it. It's the former chief executive of the South African State Security Agency, and that is Edward Makiwane. We've got the former head of the Department of Sports, Arts and Culture, Henry Isau. We've got the former head of Agriculture, Wanda Dimakatso Mutibi. And what is very sad is that these are all individuals holding positions of influence, positions of power, influences that were actually voted in. Right? So that just says something about our system in South Africa, where we put people to lead, and instead of leading, Colonel, they are stealing. That's a big problem. Instead of you leading as you were supposed to by the people, as elected by the people, you are stealing from the very same people.
I think it's sometimes disregard for law, because most of the office bearers do take an oath.
But the question is that, do they actually follow that oath?
That is the question.
We're going to leave it there for this morning, speaking there to Colonel Katlego Mogale, just giving us the latest on this investigation that's happening. As I said, it's a disgrace, really. When you elect people to lead, instead of leading, what they do is they steal from the very same government that they're supposed to lead.